were taking a look at earlier on the tour. Everybody who owns those summer homes also owns part of the lighthouse itself. Yeah, we're coming up on our very first rock formation here, folks. This is called Miner's Castle. Miner's Castle is the only rock formation you can actually drive to on the pictured rock shoreline. If you take H58 east out of Munising, it should take you about 20 minutes to get here. And there used to be 2 rock turrets on top of Miner's Castle. The one to the left fell down around 2006. And we actually got to witness a wedding being performed on top of the castle last fall. It was very beautiful. All the passengers seemed to enjoy it. But the only thing I was thinking of was that's the only wedding I know of that started off on the rocks. And you can see some cave systems at the bottom of Miner's Castle there. Most of those caves are dead ends, but if you look at the one on the very right hand side, that one actually goes all the way through to the other side of the castle. And this next beach area over here is called Miners Beach. You can also drive to Miners Beach if you take H58 east out of Munising. This next large cave coming up here is called Rainbow Cave. Rainbow Cave gets its name from that strip of colors about halfway up the right hand side of the cave wall there. And you'll also see a lot of groundwater seeping through the ceiling, giving the effect that it's raining. Because of the groundwater seeping through like this, when the sun hits the cave just right, you can see a little rainbow on the back side of it. Few caves coming up here are called the Caves of All Colors, or sometimes called the Caves of Some Colors. And if you look on the very top part of the caves, you'll see the trees are a little bit shorter than normal. That's because in the winter time there's about 3 feet. This is called Bridalveil Falls. Bridalveil Falls also does not run year-round. It dries up partially due to the summertime heat, but also because there's a beaver dam on top of the falls. And this is also Michigan's tallest waterfall when it's running, standing at 135 feet tall. The white is calcium and limonite. And further down the tour, we're also going to see a bluish green color, which is from copper. And what happens is all of these minerals are sitting inside this very porous rock, and all the groundwater that we have here will flow through this next large cave coming up here is called Rainbow Cave. Rainbow Cave gets its name from that strip of colors about halfway up the right hand side of the cave wall there. And you'll also see a lot of groundwater seeping through the ceiling, giving the effect that it's raining. Because of the groundwater seeping through like this, when the sun hits the cave just right, you can see a little rainbow on the backside. It is called Kitchi Manitou, otherwise known as the Great Spirit. It's supposed to be the side profile of the face. If you look at the very bottom of the cliff where the rock, and this is also a pretty popular spot to stand on top of when hiking the Chapel Loop. There's a lot of sand on top of here, so it's kind of like you're standing on it. And we got another formation on the right hand side of the bow again. And once we get on the other side of Battleship 1, we'll be able to see Battleship Row. First we're going to see an expanding beach, and then we'll see a series of these more of a tan color. That is a Chandlersville sandstone. It's a much softer rock. And this solid rock is what allows us to leave our archways, formations, and caves when the wind. And this is Chapel Cove. And folks, our 7th inning stretch is over, so if you are inside the main cabin or on the top deck, I'd like to ask you to please take a seat again. Pretty gross. And around that time, we'll come out of Chapel Cove with a boat full of people and yell surprise. Passengers don't seem to mind too much though. One guy even came up to me and said that was the most wildlife he'd seen on his entire vacation. And we're coming up on our last rock formation here, folks. This is called Chapel Rock. Cool thing about Chapel Rock is it's a stand-up. If you look on the left-hand side, you'll see that tree has a root system that's... And we're coming up on our last point of interest here, folks. This is called Spray Falls. Spray Falls is the only waterfall in the pictured rock shoreline that runs year-round. And in the wintertime, it's another gigantic icicle that stretches